Post-scarcity is post-human. Scarcity is a function of the human condition, not just the total resources in the universe and their location. Therefore, a post-scarcity society will never exist. To a caveman, Rome looked like a post-scarcity society. To the people of the 15th century Europe, and even a lot of people today, the United States looks like a post-scarcity civilization. Each time we progress technologically or economically, we find there are more resources, products, and services we need to keep everything running. If anything, we see increased scarcity today, because scarcity in its truest form is another word for demand. And do you really think people will stop demanding things? I'm not simply talking about demand as an action verb, but in the context of supply and demand. The more inputs there are to production and civilization, the more opportunities there are for scarcity. If a single piece of a production chain is missing, the entire process grinds to a halt. The more inputs you have, the harder the logistics are. Even if you technically have everything you need, getting them to the right place, allocating them to the right production queue, and orchestrating the process creates multiple bottlenecks. If something exists in one form or place, but it is not usable where it is needed, there is still scarcity. The more complex and long a chain becomes, the more labor and materials are involved at every step. Even if you have robots for most of the labor, it still takes organization, programming, and maintenance. As the economy expands, additional labor receives high demand. Even if you have a highly automated economy, you will still need more people to maintain, direct, and orchestrate that automation. Even fully automated self-repairing robots designed to keep other robots in repair will need humans to step in from time to time and redirect them. No matter how efficient you think your process is, you will still need someone to adjust things. And no matter how well you think you understand demand curves, you will always need someone to decide who gets what or to make sales and deals. I guarantee, even if robots could design our cities and lives for us, they wouldn't, because people like to be in control of their own lives and communities. And all of this creates demand on labor, but that is nothing compared to the real labor shift our world is headed towards. Even if you have a perfectly efficient resource extraction and custom manufacturing system, you will have a demand for designs, entertainment, and innovation. This is all labor. The larger the economy, the higher the demand for labor. All throughout history, we have seen that when technology renders one job obsolete, it creates more through either parallel innovation or the very innovation that rendered the initial job obsolete itself. Consider the horse and buggy. It took a few craftsmen a long time to create a buggy. Now today, it takes many craftsmen a short time to make a car. And the maintenance of vehicles have multiple entire industries based around it. This aspect of technological advancement is inescapable. It creates more scarcity, not less. The number and complexity of the parts necessary to build a car is far greater than a horse and buggy. It essentially created demand for oil, one of the largest industries on our planet today. It demands semiconductors, another of the largest industries on our planet. Each individual part spawned entire industries, millions of jobs that would not have existed if we hadn't made the technological advancement. The point being that the more a civilization progresses, the less likely we will run out of things to demand, and therefore will not achieve a post-scarcity situation. If you are talking about post-scarcity in basic needs, then I would ask, handouts count? Because even poor people in the United States get assistance, and nobody here starves to death unless there is another major issue like mental illness or drugs. What is the benchmark of success for a post-scarcity civilization? That nobody starves? That everyone has internet? That everyone has temperature control in their homes? That everyone has a plush couch and a flat screen TV? That everyone has an entire room for every family member and fine dining? That everyone has every whim met? You see, the issue gets subjective the moment you leave an absolute definition of post-scarcity. Many socialists hope that a post-scarcity society will lead to a civilization that can be socialist. It doesn't matter how efficient or automated you believe your processes have become. There are always issues of ownership, control, regulation, labor, transportation, allocation, workflow, and logistics that simply can't be solved by state ownership. Every time we reach a new technological plateau, socialists think, "We've made it," and try to implement socialism, only to find the same exact problems that made socialism unworkable 100 years ago still apply today. Even if you had a perfect AI performing all the functions of the economy, it still would not understand the nature of demand, the human component. And so, like in the Soviet Union, too much of one thing will be supplied and not nearly enough of another thing. This imbalance causes alternatives to be demanded or rejected in a cascade of disrupted demand chains that are almost entirely unpredictable. The human condition itself precludes a post-scarcity civilization because scarcity is based entirely on want. And since humans have infinite want, the only way to have post-scarcity is for there to be only one human in the entire universe, and for that human to have all the resources in that universe available to them immediately. The only way to be post-scarcity is to be post-human. Most people alive today already have everything they need to survive. So we already are post-scarcity in terms of survival, but we are not post-scarcity in terms of desire. And nobody will tell you today, even in America, that we live in a post-scarcity civilization. So therefore, when people talk about post-scarcity, they are talking about desires and wants. And there will never be a post-scarcity civilization by that definition. People will always find new things to want and desire. Therefore, by the current definition of post-scarcity, we will never achieve post-scarcity. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe.